this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Monday the 13th, which is when Neptune retrogrades in Pisces. At the same time, we have this like really big yod. We also have a mutable T-square going on. So we have a lot of energy. We just went through the first quarter of the moon, so we're going to be processing that as well. So let me talk a little bit about what Neptune represents in astrology. Neptune is a planet that can deeply hurt us. It's the part in our chart where we create illusion or delusion to have hope or to create hope. It's a very imaginative part of our chart, our natal charts. Wherever Neptune lies is where some of our biggest hopes lie. It's where we could make the most significant amount of money because there's a very imaginative component to this. It is where the subconscious and the unconscious mind lies. It is the end of the zodiac. So it is an accumulative energy, and it is the accumulative energy that creates the new beginning. It is the energy that inspires transformation for us to create. It's creative energy. When it is our spiritual connection, it is where we idealize outcomes so that we can create hopeful mindsets. It is where we believe that potential lies. Even if it's to a point to where we're wearing rose-colored glasses, we still want to believe in the potential of a situation or of a mindset. It is where we release ego and we become ego-less in energy. I think that's the most significant portion of where Neptune lies. And I also believe that's where we figure out our infinite potential in energy. It is also where we're super innocent and where we actually experience the most growth in our lives. That cumulative energy, you have to understand, in order for us to, the cumulative energy of the 12th house, Pisces, that the house where Pisces lies, is to have an accumulative ending to maybe an idealistic mindset or some sort of illusion that we've created, and an end, a death to that, so that we can have birth. We're reborn in that energy. So it's a very substantial energy, very, very magnificent energy. Neptune's in Pisces until I think 2025. And so it is spending a lot of time identifying this area for you. Saturn is also in a very serious square off with Neptune right now, making you not be able to idealize situations, make you have to take off your rose-colored glasses. It's making you have some control over how much you let your automated responses or those unconscious responses control the way that you move forward. Understand that we are in an awakening time. We are waking up the unconscious mind. And what we're seeing in the unconscious mind, I'm not going to lie, is very, very disturbing for some of us. For some of us, it is where we're understanding where we have lost control in our lives, where we have escaped our responsibilities, where we have lost our way. We're in the dark in a sense. I believe that for some of us, what is becoming very, very conscious is just how scary and dark our reality is, and the complexity of our reality and of our situations, and of the fact that we have to manifest potential from this point, from this spot, from this conscious spot. We have to be conscious. It's scary to be conscious. Do you know that I remember when I was really young, I remember the innocence, and Neptune and Pisces, or Neptune can represent innocence. I remember the innocence of thinking, well, the whole world is my oyster. I can do and be anything I want to be in the whole wide world. And it's just an opportunity to be over 21 or over 18 or over 21. I have the whole world. I could do anything. I could live anywhere. I could be anything. Reality is, you got to pay bills. You can't just be anything you want because you have to have a job that pays the bills. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Like, the reality is, you don't fall in love and live happily ever after. You fall in love and you spend your entire existence with that person, compromising and finding a harmonious resolution to things and merging yourself with a whole different human being who has whole different thoughts, who thinks completely independently of you. There's no happily ever after. There's no prince that rides you off into the sunset, or princess that rides you off into the sunset and leaves you unaccountable for your future. They just have it all for you and you just get to enjoy it. You get bored in that life. It's where we merge our unrealistic expectations with the reality of our situations, and we lose that innocence, and I would kill to go back there, but it is the reality. We also have the nodes. It's very significant right now that we have the nodes. We have the North Node in Virgo, and we have the South Node in Pisces. We are moving away from unconscious thoughts. We are moving away from escaping our realities, avoiding. We are moving away from the emptiness that our delusions are creating in our lives, whether we want to see them or not. They are what are causing the inconsistencies in our lives, those delusions. It is where we avoid facing the reality that we have to be accountable for the details in our lives. Jupiter and the North Node in Virgo, moving you away from Pisces energy, is getting you to face the details, whether you want to or not. Jupiter just expand them exponentially until they're all you can see, until you can't avoid seeing them anymore. That is what is going on with this energy. When Neptune goes into retrograde, it's a slowdown period in your dreams, your hopes, and your wishes. In that sense of wanting to create the illusion, wanting to create the delusion in your life. You really are holding on to something that you're scared to let go of. The reality is overwhelming right now. And with all of this mutable energy, we went through a mutable Grand Cross, and we went through a T-square. We went through a Grand Trine in Earth. That was all about stability and longevity and reality and consistency. And then you had this mutable Grand Cross, but it was like, but this and this and this is what I wanted. And I was hoping to have this. And I created this illusion over here because it seems so magical. And I have to let go of that and be stuck here in this stagnant, consistent source of reality. It was a big epiphany. It was a big awakening. And I don't think it felt entirely too good for everybody. You know what? Being in love, being in a relationship right now, there's a duality in it. The reality is you have to love somebody for the better or for worse. Where's that in the storybooks? Where's that in the fairy tales that they create? It's not there. It's the relationship moves you away from all of the bad guys and all of the people that are trying to, and they make you live happily ever after in some stupid castle somewhere. We now know that you build that castle together, both masculine and feminine energy. Got to work to build that castle together. There is no man or woman that will make anything better. There is a collaborative energy between two people, or between a collaboration between multiple energies that ground you and give you support. We're having to merge in this energy, merge conscious with the unconscious mind, merge our sense of self with our relationships, our significant bonds and unions. We're having to merge in this energy. And what we're merging, what is emerging, is a hell of a lot of reality. Hell of a lot. And it's not an easy time. And this retrograde is going to be one of those energies that I think is going to be very enlightening when it's done. But at first, what it's going to do is going to get us to accept where we have created the lower vibrations of Neptunian energy. And the lower vibrations of a Neptunian energy, what we are releasing in the retrograde, what is being revealed in that retrograde, is that we have detached from areas in our life that require immediate attention. We have we are flat denying areas of our life that require immediate attention. And if we don't, Jupiter is going to expand these details, and it is going to get very unfortunate for some of us. I believe that what is going to be revealed in this energy is the fact that we have a lack of discipline in some very important aspects in our lives. Our routines, our rituals, our mindsets, our mental health, our physical health. We have let things go. It is going to be brought forth the ramifications of letting go, the long term. Now remember, Neptune is the end of the cumulative end of the zodiac. So it is all the houses of energy. It is a big energy. If we let all of that go, think about all of the different cycles in life that we let go. Think about the first house represents the sense of self, like what we identify with and how others perceive us. Just letting that go is scary in its own self. We let go of our values in the second house. We let go of the way that we think and the way that we interpret things. We just let it go. Can you imagine your mind just let go? No kind of discipline whatsoever. We let go our home and family situation, our home, the way that we grew up within our past program. We're going to just let that go. Fifth house. Fifth house is the house of creativity. We're just going to let go of our creative aspirations. We're just going to let them take us away. Let this take us in bizarre directions. We're just going to be risky and take lots of crazy risks that don't make any kind of sense whatsoever just because in the moment we idealize them. Like, think about the sixth house. The sixth house is our mind. It's Virgo energy. That's where the North Node is. So we're going to let go of our physical health and our mental health. Now the scary part of letting go of our physical health and our mental health, I think, is very significant in this energy because of what it deeply resonates with me. What it's deeply signifying is, Neptune represents asylums, mental institutions, psychosis. So some of you have been avoiding these details. You are losing control. You are losing control of your daily rituals and your routines. You are being overcome by addiction and by escaping and by avoiding, and you are getting lost in the darkness, sweetie. You're so lost for some of you in this energy, and that's what this reflective cycle is going to bring forth. Seventh house. Think about the seventh house. Our relationships. We're lost in our relationships. We've idealized all kinds of outcomes. We're just caught in karmic cycles over and over again, a hamster on a wheel in karmic relationships, because we are avoiding what the work that we need to do in growth. Eighth house. Eighth house is the house of transformation, death, endings. It is rebirth. It is a big, scary Halloween house. And that house, if we don't pay attention to it, can create some anomalies, some flawed anomalies in our lives. If we let the darkness override those areas, if we get lost and we start to avoid and we start to go to the darker part of the Neptunian mind, the unconscious, if we let our just unconsciousness just guide us through our lives, we are going on some scary past programming that could be karmically in our minds from years and years and years ago, centuries ago. For some of you that believe in karma, believe in some sort of cycles that go on for many years. For some of you, like, think about the ninth house. The ninth house is elevated mind. It's perspective. It's adventuring out in new concept. But in this, if we were to let go, if we were to acknowledge, if we were to never have a reflective cycle in Neptune, we would never take a look at the big picture. What does all of this mean? What was the point of all of it? Like, you would never do that. You would just avoid that entire conversation with yourself and think about that conversation. Think about how important that conversation is. 10th house, career, life path, destiny. Think about letting go of that. You're just floating along a cloud, not caring, having everybody else just live your life for you. Think about that you miss your purpose altogether for here. By the time you get to the 11th house is our social circles. It's how we interact with people. It's how we create and collaborate with people. It's our hopes, our dreams, and our wishes. Think about if we just avoid that area. We can't avoid any area. My point to all that big, long conversation is we can't avoid the cumulative cycles, because we're forgetting about all the cycles in between. And if we are masking, if we are hiding, if we are avoiding, if we are lost in addiction, then honey, we are not seeing anything. We are stunting our growth. We are stopping in this journey in life, and we will repeat this karmic cycle. If not in this lifetime, in another lifetime. So to me, it makes no logical and rational sense, Venus in Gemini, Sun in Gemini, Mercury in Gemini, to can consistently carry on like this. Like we have no rational mind. Like we have no thoughts of our own. Like we're just floating along everybody else's bubble in this world. This is a very intense energy, very magnificent energy, very revealing energy. We are going to recall karmic lessons in this energy, in this reflective cycle. Very important for us to really revisit karma and the role that it's placed in our life and the significance to all of these patterns that we've been in. That's very, very important. Also, we need to see what we refuse to see. Open your eyes, honey. Open your eyes and be very, very real in this energy. Be very, very real with what it's trying to tell you. Yes, we can close our eyes. We are creatures of will. We can do anything we want, and we can continue to be a hamster on a wheel. But why? I don't see the reason in this energy. This energy is highly intuitive. I think that in this energy, well, Neptune energy in Pisces would be highly intuitive, but in this energy, it's almost like our intuition goes to sleep. It's almost like for some of us who are very intuitive creatures, we're going to feel kind of a little bit lost because we don't have that intuitive barometer. We're going to take a look at everything and we're just going to see it reality. We're not going to be able to read between the lines. We're going to look straight at the reality of the situation. And we're going to have to deal with the immediate environment in this energy. Not so much from an elevated perspective or from the elevated mind or at the higher purpose of it, but from this immediate environment, get control of the details. Look at them now. I think it's destined that we're doing this because Jupiter needs some help here. Jupiter needs some help, and Venus and the Sun in Gemini, we need to see our environment, take off our rose-colored glasses, open the house up that you had all closed up by dark curtains and just open it up and just see everything. See all the dirt, see all the bugs, see all the bad things around you, and you need to see. This energy will help you see your reality. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to telling you how this is going to affect your sun, your moon, and your rising. Hi, my lovely Aries. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Neptune in Pisces, which is going retrograde at the same time that we're having a yod, at the same time that we're having a mutable T-square. So Neptune in Pisces is going to be involved in a mutable T-square. It is going to be having a very difficult conversation with Jupiter, and it is going to be having a difficult conversation with Saturn. So it is in opposition with Jupiter, but it's squaring off with Saturn. So what's really difficult about this configuration, I believe, is that there's a sense that something or somehow you need to see the reality of your situation. You need to have, it is like something needs to be unveiled. I'm going to call this a big unveiling for many people. Your ruler is at the top of a yacht, and it is having this conversation till about the 17th about making some big changes. And you need to be very realistic about what these changes that you need to make. There is no idealization in this energy. There's no taking a look at this with rose-colored glasses and idealizing a wonderful outcome. This is like, dude, if I make that decision, it's going to be butt hard. I'm going to have to put in this much work. You know what? Maybe the payoff isn't even going to work out. Like, the reality is reality. You're really looking at this logically and rationally. This has nothing to do with intuition, has nothing to do with a hopeful mindset. This is all about looking at your immediate environment, identifying the problems in your immediate environment, and then making super forward energy in what you want to do. This has to do with your habits, your rituals, and routine, which I believe that some of you may be starting to get a handle of as you are being faced with the fact that you actually, I think you are being guided that you need to make these changes in your life. And I believe that I think that you feel like if you consider multiple different, it's like you're almost bendable, pliable, you're more adaptable in this energy. It kind of feels lovely. I have to say this mutable T-squared is not good for you, but I feel like it's bending you and it's making you more pliable in areas I think you should have changed a long time ago. I think that it's very hard because relationships are a contentious point. Relationships are going to make you evaluate the pros and cons in energy. Sometimes those pros and cons could be pros and cons with you. Sometimes the reality is you're not the center of the universe, right? Sometimes the reality is you haven't made all of the right decisions. Sometimes the reality is what you have to identify is that I need to change some things about myself, or the way that I think or interpret them, or with the way that I maybe communicate comes off a bit abrasive and hard. Maybe what I need to take a look at is the perspectives of others and not be so rigid and not be so opinionated and not be so debatable. But maybe there's a larger point to all of this. Maybe the perspective is bigger than what I'm anticipating, but it is dealing with reality. It is dealing with routine. It is dealing with our immediate environment. So you can see how the clash can kind of feel in your mind if you're like have all these different things going on at the same time, and yet there's some sort of destined message that's going to come out of this eventually. But for right now, it's like all immediate that you can see. This is a time where reality is going to be something that will be at the forefront of your mind. And it will be about being very, I feel like you feel cardinal in this energy. Like, I feel like taking action. But then again, your masculine energy is kind of depleted and you're like in this type feeling. So I believe that what you need to do is, in this energy, is to embrace, I think the best way that I would make a change, I think the most positive, highest form of energy in all of this crazy energy would be to change some of your rituals and routines in your habitual thinking. I believe is so insanely important, because if we do that, I believe it allows us to interpret this entire situation much more rationally and logically. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Taurians. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Neptune in Pisces is going to retrograde at the same time that we have a yacht, at the same time that we have a mutable T-square. So, of course, I need to talk about the mutable T-square. And even though your ruler is not involved in this mutable T-square, Neptune and Pisces, the retrograde is. And then, of course, you are involved in a yod at the same time. This yod goes on until about the 17th. So at the peak of all of this, the reality is the question, the actual question has to be based on the sense of reality, the reality of your relationships, the reality of your relationships in the past, the reality of the way that you feel about these past relationships, how you identified with these past relationships. I think for some of you, the intensity that built up regarding some of these relationships, I think what it predominantly will signify eventually as you unlock the positive energy out of this yod, as you go to the base of the yod, you solve the problem and you unlock the sextile. I think what's really insignificant about that particular energy is that you start to set your life in line with what you deeply value. Now, this is not what you value on an idealistic type mindset. It's more on the reality of your situation. It's not like, oh, we're just going to run off and get married and have just like this wonderful life and everything is going to be good. No, it's about the work. It's about the determination. It's about what you identify the problems as being. It's about the patterns that you see from the past. It's about taking a look at your immediate environment and making decisions based on what you value and who you value and why you value it. What motivates you to value these decisions. All of this energy has everything to do with your immediate environment. I'm telling you this because Neptune in Pisces, which is going to be in retrograde, it's going to be squaring off with Sagittarius and it's going to be opposing Jupiter. When this happens, this has to do with you need to take a risk. You need to take a risk that will get you closer to your hopes, your dreams, and your wishes. You have to be a little bit vulnerable in this energy, I feel. I feel like this is a very intimate process for you. It's a very intense process for you. It's revealing. I feel like you're revealing a portion of yourself in this energy. I think it's almost like you're unveiling it. I don't even think it's like revealing. It's like you're unveiling it. I keep feeling like it's just like the unveiling. It's like taking the mask off. It's like me taking my makeup off and stripping down naked and standing in front of you and saying, you know what, this is Annette. This is Annette. This is who I am. You know, like I feel like it's that, kind of energy. There's a lot of energy in being naked in the truth and revealing yourself and hoping that the way that you look at this is the way that the other person or the way that the significant people in your life view this particular issue. This has a lot to do with what you hope for. So what you hope for is going to be lined up with what's a realistic expectation. So if some of you are caught up in unrealistic mindsets, unrealistic expectations, what you're going to find out is that there's a halt to that. There's an obstacle set and we'll throw up this massive obstacle of reality. And then it'll be like, whoa, I can't believe that that's my life. But that's what we need to do right now because we're making significant decisions and we're making our lives pliable and mutable and open up to new perspectives. And we cannot be investing in the wrong things of something that we idealize and something that will never materialize. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Neptune and Pisces retrograding at the same time that we're having a yod, at the same time we're having a mutable T-square. Yay! So this event has everything to do with making you completely attached to the reality of your situation. During this event, when Neptune goes into Pisces, it's going to be involved in a mutable T-square. So Saturn is going to be squaring off with Neptune and Pisces, and it's going to be opposing Jupiter and Virgo. So when this happens, what this suggests to me is that your relationships, your significant relationships, your bonds from the past, your karmic destined relationships had a very significant message to them. It was to open you up to a career life path destiny. I'm going to give you, for instance, I knew this Gemini once, and this Gemini kept attracting these people that were healers. Constantly, every person this Gemini ever dated was a healer. They were involved in the healthcare field in some facet, either mental or physical health. This Gemini was a little bit unstable in some of the choices that Gemini was making. And so this Gemini would constantly attract all of these healers only because it was mirroring what he needed or she needed to do at that time. And so sometimes what is revealed in this energy is the reality of what we needed to see. This has really nothing to do with our relationships per se, as it does having to do, this is a Neptunian's process, is to reveal what's hidden, what you hide from yourself, is to reveal your unconscious mind, is to reveal your unconscious automated responses, and to get and for you and to take the veil off and for you to see what you refuse to see about your life, about your destiny, about your future. And so for many of you, what I believe is very true in this energy is that for some of us there was some sort of past programming that played like we were like these automated robots. It's like we just kept going on the same roller coaster ride over and over again because that's what we're deeply compelled to do, because that's what we've always done. It's kind of like this repetitive cycle. I believe that as we move forward, what I believe that does is, as we start attracting these relationships, if we were to take a look at them karmically and cumulatively, we would take a look and see that there is a hidden meaning to all of them. In the particular situation that I was talking about, the fact that this person needed to heal themselves. There was an unhealthy mindset in that person that all of these healers were being compelled to show this person karmically over and over again that they had never seen before for themselves. Because as these healers, these responsible, these people that had made healthy decisions in their lives, this person was attracting an opposition. And when this person was attracting this opposition, what it was doing was it was revealing what needed to be merged about this person. It was revealing what was wrong with this individual. And of course, this person thought all those people were wrong, but when in fact it was them that was wrong, or them that needed something to be healed or something to be revealed all along about themselves. This energy has the ability to manifest. If you take a look at it from a very rational, if you're just taking a look at this and just taking a look at the facts of your life, if you take a look at it and you want to bring some harmonious resolution to your life, Moon in Libra, and you want to take a look at your routines, your habits, and your rituals, this is a wonderful time of healing, growth, expansion. This is a time of merging reality with where you have had unrealistic expectations, mindsets, coping methods. This is a time of tremendous mental and physical healing for you. If you allow this, if you allow this reflective cycle to reveal, to unveil the significant patterns in your life that you weren't probably that aware of. This period, for some of you that are this can be a very overwhelming time. You may feel very kind of tired in this energy, just because I feel like when we get involved in the mental and the physical realm, it's very tasking to have these sorts of revelations and these sorts of unveilings. It's very taxing. So be mindful, take care of you in this energy. Remember that we have a beautiful and almighty yacht at this time, asking you to deeply identify with what you want, what you desire in your life, and what will fulfill you in your closest bonds, your relationships and unions. What are the commonalities? What do you desire from them? This isn't about attracting karmic relationships that help you grow, but what do you desire? sometimes when we ask ourselves that question, then what's revealed is, why do I keep attracting all these people then that are healers if I'm super cool? Well, maybe I'm not so cool with myself. So as you can see, it creates an intellectual debate that I think is super, super important. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Cancers. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Neptune and Pisces. Retrograding at the same time that we're having a yod, at the same time that we're having a mutable T-square. I know. So you're feeling a little bit Lulu. This is crazy energy. I want to talk to you, especially we have the moon in Libra at the time having a very intense quincunx with Neptune and Pisces when this initially starts out. You're wanting to look at the rationality. You're wanting this to be a very elevating time for you. You're trying to take a look at the big picture. At the same time, your immediate environment is impacting you. What is being revealed, I think, in this energy is that, yes, there's an elevated purpose for everything that you're going through right now. But I believe that what is being recalled in this energy is it's almost like a PTSD response when I feel you. I feel this energy as like you're very, very hypersensitive in this energy. And why wouldn't you be? This is a very energetically buzz kind of time for you. And emotionally, I feel like there is a situation that I don't feel like you have a balanced perspective on. And I believe what's going to happen in this energy is that Saturn is going to reveal to you. Saturn is in a mutable T-square right now with Neptune and Pisces during this retrograde cycle when it initially begins. So what's super important about this particular issue is that there is an opposition that, well, there's a square up. There's a challenge in this energy to see the elevated perspective when this is something that either could like mentally hurt you and then physically impact you. Anytime you get mentally hurt, your body physically reacts to it. I know that, I have like I'm a Leo on the cusp of Cancer. All of my primary degrees are in Cancer, and I'm just a teeny tiny baby itsy bitsy Leo. And so I believe that when I go through any kind of stress, I am just wore out. I'm overcome mentally, my body physically, I get sick. It's very intuitively a very deep time for me anytime that I feel things energetically to this degree. And so I think what's difficult in this yod, there's a yod that forms for everybody until about the 7th. And I think for us, we have to ask ourselves that deep question. Look, we've been through cycles like this before that challenge us to be temperate in our mindsets and temperate in our physical being when we are in a state of adversity. And we have to step up to the plate. Like, we have learned karmically everything we need to learn from the cycle of you've had all these karmic relationships and all these karmic situations and all these karmic issues, and they've taught you all of these consistent lessons, right? That's Neptune and Pisces. So you're going to start to recall, well, God, I feel like I kind of been through this before. And the lessons I saw consistently throughout this entire karmic cycle is this. And so I believe that for some of us, what this will really honestly do is that this will help us recall the lessons learned. Is it a good process? I don't think energetically it's going to feel magnificent. It's going to feel downright off-putting. But what I think it's going to reveal is the bigger picture, the larger perspective. What was always supposed to be revealed in all of those lessons. Maybe for some reason, where we're at energetically now, we just finally get it. Because of all of this stuff, it's like once we answer that question, I think we understand it all. Does it make it feel good? I think our relationships, have been a point of inconsistency in the past. The longevity has been very hard for us to feel secure and invest in and feel like that we could ever get. And so I think that in this energy, I think it's very difficult for us to like feel like this is a positive energy source when it is. If we were to rationally take a look at this situation on a very logical level, then what would be revealed to us in this energy, if we were to unveil, if we were to stop getting emotional and all butthurt and not taking a look at the big picture, not taking a look at the fact we've been through this lesson about 20 times, it's not as though you're a newbie in this area and this stuff just hit you out of left field. Like, you've been on this road, this journey for a while. What's being revealed in this energy is that we need to stop being delusional and creating illusions in our current realities. We need to see our situation for what it is. We need to stop idealizing it. Our situation is this. It's hard. It's this right here. If we can rationally take a look at this, then we will train out in this energy. If we are holding on to idealistic thought processes, if we are not realistic about our expectations, then we are going to fall on our asses in this energy. And it's going to be a very mutable, contingent, awful transit filled with lots of confusion, and we'll feel like we're in the dark and then the light is revealed. Either way, I think that there will be a revelation. The veil will be unlifted in this energy. For some of you that are younger, it could be that the veil comes off and you start to see the cumulative part of the past. For some of you that are older and more experienced in this energy, you've been through this karmic cycle quite a few times before you got to this level, like, that we have a little miles on us. For some of us, it's like, oh, that's what this meant all along. It is a very elevating time. Saturn is actually on your side in this energy. If you are able to elevate yourself, look past and look at the karmic solution to this and intensify your desire to be level-headed and to be in a good mental and physical state during a time of adversity, you are going to elevate yourself and you are going to remove yourself from karmic cycles that no longer serve you. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, dear Leos. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Neptune in Pisces, which retrogrades today at the same time that we have a yod until the 17th, at the same time that we have a mutable T-square going on. So we have a lot of energy adapting us and making us see things, unveiling things in energy. Now, this is an intense energy. First of all, Saturn is squaring off with Neptune, which is going into retrograde. That is a big reality check, guys. A very intense energy source. That is, Neptune is going to be opposing Jupiter at the same time it's squaring off with Saturn, which is suggesting that certain things need to change. Rituals, routines, mindsets need to change. You need to value the details. You need to value paying attention to every little detail. You need to make some very significant changes. It is not about being superficial in this energy at all. It's about valuing the entirety of the situation or of the person or of what you want. Who, what you value and why you value it. And then you have to take a look at that and peel back the layers in this reflective energy. And I bet you the layers go way, way back, because this is an accumulative energy when you get Neptune and Pisces. So Your ruler is involved in this yod that I've been talking about, and this yod is at the top of the yod. You have Mars and Scorpio. So I think what is very, very significant about this energy is you're going to have to ask yourself some very elevated questions about what you hope and you dream for. And these need to be based on realistic mindsets. Like what you do not understand about this energy is that if you are idealizing anything, Saturn will throw up an obstacle and will humble you in this process. I think that as you and I have both went through a Saturn return, and a wicked one at that, not that long ago, I think that what you really need to do is be very, very mindful of the fact that there is some humility and that there is a larger purpose, and that there is something beyond what you understand that you are being asked to take a look at in what's being revealed in this energy. Your purpose is to not tangibly give you what you want or intangibly give you what you want. The true value lies in the healing aspect of this energy. See, what we get caught up in the details of getting what we want, that's what inspires us. That's the type of want that we really get into, is like that tangible desire, that materialistic mindset. But what the energies is really guiding you to is to really take a look at valuing, giving, healing others. To value, like paying attention to the details and being very compassionate and loving with other people. This isn't a time for you. This is a time for being there for others. And this is a time that will deeply intensify some of the areas in your life where past programming have made you somewhat superficial. This is to create depth and grow your spirit, your internal spirit, grow your character, grow your soul. Your soul, and that all needs to grow in this energy. And you need to stop being so superficial with your wants, your needs, and your desires. And I know, and I'm not saying that you're just this like superficial creature out there. Leos are all heart. They're just sweethearts. They're givers in energy. But I'm feeling like you're getting a little bit lost in this energy. I'm feeling like, I feel like you are losing your way. Like you're getting so consumed with correcting a superficial outcome that you're not correcting the internal growth that's necessary in this energy. When you get into a reflective cycle where Neptune's involved, Neptune is this process about emotional growth. It is not about superficial growth. It's about spiritual growth and emotional growth. It's about really unmasking the potential in people, encouraging people. You could be in a very encouraging source of light out there, a healing light. Your sun could beam upon so many people, mass healing. If you are in a positive light, and you have to really embrace that. And I know that's very like hippie. That's Neptune and Pisces. Like I got to be honest. And in this reflective cycle, it's not about being intuitive. It's about actually touching people. It's about making a point in your life not to be so caught up in what the superficial aspects of it, but to get reflective, to unearth what people need in them to be healed. Like people need to talk to you. They need to feel your light in this energy. That's your special gift. It's just to feel the heat, to feel the light, to feel the optimism of a Leo. And people are lost right now in this energy, and they need you. And some of that energy that's going to be unlocked by this yod is the actual understanding of that. The understanding that you're a healer. You provide sun on everybody else, and they grow because of you. And I'm not saying that, you know, like they can't grow on their own, but it certainly helps to have a positive, uplifting, fun-loving Leo in their life to really engage their spirits and to make them hopeful in situations that feel hopeless. I mean, this is a very hopeless type of energy. So you got to provide some light. You got to shed some light. Don't be so stingy with your light. Don't make it to where they got to pay for your light, or they got to pay for your time, or they got to pay for you. It's like just share your light, share your energy, because people need it right now. It's a very hard time. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, dear Virgos. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Neptune in Pisces retrograding. So, today, at the same time that Neptune in Pisces is retrograding, we have a yacht and we have a mutable T-square. In fact, Neptune, which is going to be retrograding, is going to be caught in a mutable T-square at the same time. So this is a very contentious energy. It's an awakening type energy. To me, this unveils, this really reveals, it takes the mask off. That's kind of what I feel like in this energy. I believe that this energy has a lot to do with moving you away from karmic cycles that no longer serve you regarding relationships. I believe that relationships are a very contentious point of view, or have been in the past. I think there just wasn't an equality. There wasn't an equality of something in your relationship. So I believe that this is a time where you start to really figure, you know, that aspect out. I think Neptune is going to be in opposition with Neptune is going to be in opposition with Jupiter. At the same time, it's going to be squaring off with Saturn in this energy. So it's going to be very important that when you're in this energy that you stay very, very realistic about these mindsets. Now, your ruler is going to be making you think about that career, life, path, destiny. So for many of you, this is about unveiling areas in your life where your mindsets don't support progression, where your mindsets aren't healthy, where your mindsets, you have this sort of repetitive habitual thinking that doesn't empower you, doesn't enlighten you, doesn't inspire you to create a better outcome. What you need to do in this energy is, I think you need to be very, very unconditional in this energy. This energy, to me, what this represents is that when we're thinking about something, we have to have a determination, an unconditional determination. So if we meet resistance, if we meet obstacles, then we have the forthright in our mind to be able to say, okay, so karmically, I probably have made this decision before. Let me reflect. And I'm going to choose a different mindset, or a variation of a different mindset, or a variation of that thought will create a variation. See, what this is going to do is create a ripple effect that I think for years to come on a karmic cycle about moving you away, making you much more temperate about the way that you move forward. There's not an extreme in this in this energy. In fact, to me, what this does is just reinforces lessons that you already learned. I think that this reveals what you refuse to see in certain areas of your life. I believe that if you have been caught in habitual patterns in some of your mindsets, I believe that it reveals these very intense emotions. What's at the bottom of it, what brews beneath all of this intensity, this compelling desire, I think you kind of need to stem and get to the root of. Because for some of us, the compelling desire could be fear. For some of us, the compelling desire could be, my parents gave me away. I was adopted and my parents gave me away and I never had I never had a true parent. So I hyper attached to every single relationship I'm in. That's the root cause of it. right? It unveils the root cause. It unveils, to me, what this does is anytime that we get an energy where we're taking a look at our relationships, our partnerships, and our unions, then what's revealed is what we see in ourselves, the reflection. It's this, if I look at my partner, is the reflection positive or negative? Is my partner, do they see what I want them to see, or do they see me? Or do I see what I want to see? Or what's being revealed is the reality of my partnership? Why am I idealizing the partnership? Like, get down to the nuts and bolts of these issues, because these issues are what's truly manifesting blocks, energetic blocks, and you're repeating karmic cycles that no longer serve you. So I believe that as you're moving along, what you're going to truly start to feel is just what you're going to start to value is taking a look at the dark and the light, the pros and the cons, the black and the white, the yin and the yang of every situation that you have. I think it's super important. You won't be just making decisions that are being guided, but you're going to be making decisions based on taking a look at extremes in energy, which I don't find altogether uplifting, because as you see extremes in energy, sometimes what's really revealed is extremes in your energy. Remember that I believe that others reflect where we're at. So if we're not in a place of peace, then the relationships that we're attracting into our lives are not in a state of peace. They're in a state of chaos. They're in a state of this mutable energy. They're mutating, and they're mutating you along with them, and everybody's mutating, and it's just like, I feel like the energetic flow is kind of always like this, non-stable, kind of, you just don't know what you're looking at. Like, it's just like do. Like, it's just the craziest effing energy. For some of us that are caught in not a high vibration of this energy. So is a negative vibration a bad vibration? Heck no. It's an opposition in your energy. So it's a chance to take a look at that reflection and think, I can improve. I can make this better. And by pouring your energy to kind of making that person better, because this is what a Virgo does, you can start to make your energy better, because of course what you put out there, you attract. And so if you're attracting, that doesn't mean that you're going to sit out there and put together a broken person like you always do. No, this means that you're going to take a look at it. You're going to realistically look at the situation. The mask is going to be unveiled in this situation. If you've idealized anything, that relationship is not going to last. But if this is a realistic relationship that has some potential for growth and expansion, and it pulls you out of these karmic journeys that no longer serve you, then the next step in all of these energies is going to be to work through these energies. The opposition is going to create an area in your life where you can balance and maintain and have some residual growth from that. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi dear Libras, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Neptune and Pisces going into retrograde at the same time that we're having a yod, at the same time that we're having a mutable T-square. So we kind of got a lot going on, we got a lot playing. So your ruler is involved in a yod at the time that we are having Neptune going into retrograde. So what this is drastically taking a look at is, or unveiling in this energy, is your rituals, your routines, your habitual mindsets. Your physical health and your mental health are very, very important in these. How you cope. Coping is a huge issue to a Neptunian mindset. How you cope. Do you cope in a positive way, or do you cope in an escaping and avoiding way? Do you consciously cloud your vision? Do you consciously put rose-colored glasses on in areas of your life that you know you should not? Like, logically and rationally, you know that you're doing bad. But like, on a very unconscious level, you're sticking those rose-colored glasses on because it's easier to deal with, the idealistic side of it than it is to deal with the reality of the situation. So for some of you, the unveiling that is going to be happening, the top of this yod, the big question that's going to be asked of you is, what do you value? Who do you value? Why are you valuing? What is motivating what you value? If you attach value to it, then there is something motivating that issue, the momentum that creates value. So what is it? What's doing that for you? Now, for some of you, that has a lot to do with relationships, and it has a lot to do with your perspectives. So for some of you, your relationships are expanding your perspectives. They are expanding you. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy. They're expanding what you value. Some of the ways that these relationships are expanding the value that you have to place on boundaries, it's doing it in a negative way. It's like, okay, so I went through all of these extremes in energy, and wow, that was super unpleasant. So these are the boundaries that I got to create because that person is a moron, or that person does these things to me, and I really don't resonate with them. And so in this energy, we have Neptune in Pisces involved in a mutable T-square when it retrogrades, and it's squaring off with Saturn, and it's opposing Jupiter. So you can understand that the details in this energy are going to be very important. The details, the things that you refuse to see. There's an opposition. There is something that you need to resolve. There is something that you need to take a look at the details, and you need to meet in the middle somehow, or you need to communicate effectively about meeting in the middle in this energy. The moon is going to be in Libra at this particular energy. So this is something that you deeply resonate and identify with. I think for some of you, what this has a lot to do with is communication. In the past, you haven't probably been so good with having to communicate about these very touchy details, because what you did was you just idealized them away, because it's just a lot easier to idealize the situation away than to actually deal with the pro and the actual con in the energy. This energy reminds me of loving somebody for better, for worse, or having conversations or making emotional investments in the worst as much as in the better. So like sometimes when you have to take a look at your situation, you have to take a look at it from the worst possible scenario and from the best possible scenario. And sometimes taking a look at that's very Libra, moon in Libra, that's very pros and cons type energy. Making an investment in something requires that type of mindset. But what's hard in this energy is that sometimes you can value something so much and you can idealize it so much that you actually just imagine away what you don't value about the situation, and it intensifies what you do value. So what you're trying to do is gain some balance in what you value and the reality of what you value, like the consequence, I think, of what you value in this energy is very important. This will elevate your vibration, but I think you are going to have to first reveal what you have been delusional about. You have to face it. You have to look the demon in the eye. You have to face that thing and think, what was my part in this? How did I contribute to the problem? I think is very hard for you because you're very elevated, and I don't think you think of yourself on this level, but I think you contribute. When you idealize something, it's like you're in love with an alcoholic, right? And so you bring home your alcoholic booze because that makes your alcoholic happy. And in turn, you're pleasing your alcoholic, and that pleases you to please your alcoholic because, it's a fun, good night. But now the alcoholism has gotten out of control. It's not super fun anymore. But initially, you were contributing to the acceleration of his dysfunction or of her dysfunction or of their disease. Because initially it seemed innocent enough, you had idealized that the problem was not as big as it was. So that's like one tiny itsy bitsy component, but since it does have to do with this very vital coping method part, mental, physical health, I thought it was really relevant to bring up to you. But I think it's important to take a look at these areas and think, okay, fine, it doesn't apply to alcoholism, but what did you contribute to? What unhealthy mindset in this relationships, in these bonds, in these unions, in these things that you valued, what did you do to make it askew? Where were you unrealistic? What didn't you see in this energy? And I think you need to set your expectations appropriately, and you need to start dealing with the consequences of some of your part in the situation. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi dear Scorpios, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Neptune and Pisces going into retrograde. At the same time we're having a yod, at the same time we're having a mutable T-square. So for you, all this energy has to do with taking risk. But here's the thing, there's a lot of energy right now in reflection. And so I think taking a risk for you has a lot to deal with the revelation process. You have to face things you don't want to see. You have to look at this demon in the eye, and you have to really deeply acknowledge your part in it. It's a very revealing energy. It's a very karmically healing energy. I believe that there are some very big changes that you need to make, and I believe that some of these changes lie with you, lie with your originality, lie with your individuality. You need to... There is something about this energy where I feel like there was some sort of conforming, or there was some sort of, where you weren't authentic in this energy, where you weren't deeply, where you didn't stand out in this energy in a way that you should have. It's like you conformed to meet an expectation because you thought it could get you ahead. I feel like in this energy, I think it was a coping method because I think what you want, you deeply resonate with. And so I believe that, you know, it got you into a mindset or routine that I don't think that you deeply identify with. I believe that it's like you got caught up in habits and routines and rituals of other people. They're not your mindsets. They're not your habits. They're not your routine. You don't deeply identify with it, but it was fun and it conformed and it gave you good times. And I believe that it elevated everybody else around you, but it lowered your bar. I believe in this energy. See, this energy, Neptune and Pisces, is in a mutable T-square right now with Saturn, and it's opposing Jupiter. So to me, this suggests, it deeply suggests that you took a risk, and I think you had to play with the energy. You had to experiment. I believe Neptunian energy is very experimental. It's very imaginative. You can kind of idealize the best of this energy, and you can get caught up in doing that. What can lead to that is caught up in escapism, caught up in, like, the initial risk was like changing a mindset and doing something different that you don't necessarily agree with. But I think what it did was it lowered the bar. I feel like it lowered the bar. Your energy is very, very quincunxy. And so I feel like something lowered the bar and something needs to change. And there's a dualistic component to doing this. There's a dualistic component to this energy. I think that initially it makes you feel really good, right? It's kind of like, it reminds me of every single Pisces. Like they're either workaholics, or they're spiritualaholics, or they're drug addicts, but there's some sort of extreme in their personality. They do something because it feels good, but there is some component to it that's not necessarily all that bad. I mean, like, seriously, if a person's really truly just smoking pot, I mean, how bad is it for the world? Like, I mean, initially, but then it becomes a habit, and then they become like where they can't deal with, they can't go without it. So I think that initially it starts out innocently enough. You take a risk and you're like, wow, this is a whole new perspective. It's a whole new concept. I wouldn't have never considered this, fixated on my old belief system. And then, but it lowered the bar. So it's time to, like, okay, I experimented. I saw what it was all about. I'm cool. But now it's time to elevate the bar because, you know, the reality of my situation, what's being revealed in this energy is I think that I need to go back to, I think what it's doing right now is controlling my ego. And it's making me unconscious with my ego, where I'm not conscious with where the direction my ego is going in. And I want control over where my ego is going. My ego controls my interactions, my responses, my forward movement in life. And I believe that for some of us, we're getting lost in our ego. We're becoming ego consumed instead of ego-less. And in this energy, you know, the whole Neptunian process is to become conscious of our unconsciousness, and that actually removes ego. I know that when I had my spiritual awakening, one of the things that I became very conscious about is the fact that I no longer identify with the same things. My ego, I don't care what kind of car I drive. I don't care where I live. I don't care if I have name brand shoes. I mean, are you kidding me? I don't freaking care. I care about being a good person and being light and being happy and spreading love and being compassionate with people. I mean, that's what I care about. Now, for a while there, I'm going to say, because this is maybe some of those thought processes, and since I'm feeling it with you, I should just say it. For a while there, I think I got a little bit lost of like being too compliant. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if I look like a certain way, or I don't care if I put on 5 pounds, or I don't care. Like, for a while there, you get kind of caught up in like, I don't care, because you're just a mutating source out there. But now, reel it back. It's time to care. It's time to put the bar up there a little bit better. You know, you got to elevate your bar. You got to set your standards. You got to put some boundaries on your life. And you got to get some control of your life. Or this state of wanting to not care will start to consume you and start to remove what you were spiritually being guided to do. I mean, there's a purpose to this mindset. Yes, make you mutable, make you adaptable, but not make you mindless in energy. And I think that's super important. I think it's really important to look at things rationally and logically in this energy. You know, this energy is about bringing forth, it's about taking a look at things on a very, very elevated level. This isn't about taking a look at things on that intuitive level. Your gut is not going to save the day on this one. Nope. Because your gut's gone to sleep. Your intuition's gone to sleep. What's really awakened is the elevated mind in this energy for you, and the perspective that there is something bigger and broader in making changes and paying attention to the details and taking a look at your life and identifying the details in your life and getting control over some of these areas that I think you kind of got a little bit too laxy-daisy on. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Sagittarius. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Neptune and Pisces retrograding at the same time that we're having a mutable T-square, at the same time that we're having a yacht. So, Neptune and Pisces is going to be involved in a mutable T-square, and that mutable T-square is Neptune and Pisces is going to square off with Saturn, and it's going to oppose Jupiter in this energy. So to me, this suggests that something that you deeply identify with during this retrograde cycle with Neptune, the unveiling that's going to happen, is that your life path destiny has to be balanced with this new venture with your home and your home life. So I feel that you're deeply being compelled and guided, and the opposition, the balance that you need to attain in this energy. And I believe this is all about balance for you. I don't believe that this is so extreme for you. I believe that the unveiling comes from you. It's like you just want to weigh things out in a pro and con. You're not very extreme in this energy, and I believe that in itself is very different for a Sagittarian. A Sagittarian can be very extreme because their ruler is Jupiter. But in this energy, it's in Virgo. And Virgo energy is all about like taking a look at that energy and like really conforming the energy. really looking at the details and really looking at balance and maintaining two different perspectives equally. So I believe that in this energy, I believe that for some of you caught in a very high vibration, this is going to be one of those times that you deeply identify with this reflective cycle. And the fact that it's redirecting your energy in a really peaceful resolution about your realistic situation. I believe that you deal really well with logic. And I believe that you can take a look at this situation and go, well, I know that, my intuitive feelings are kind of to sleep right now. Like, that energy doesn't serve me right now. What I need to do is take a look at things rationally and logically. This is kind of a test in this energy for me. I believe that for a while there, what you've been, being asked to do is to take a look at both balancing out your career, life path, destiny with your family, your home life, or where you want to live, or how you want to ground yourself, or however that happens for you. Like, you've been having to kind of balance these two situations, and it's been very difficult because both of these areas are equally compelling, so there's an extreme to this. But I think as we go through this energy, what you're trying to do is try to get closer to the pendulums that are swinging. Start swinging closer and closer together, as you can see, to where they merge and they meet in the middle. So this energy is all about revealing some unrealistic expectations, some unrealistic extremes that still may eschew the situation. And I believe that for some of you, this has a lot to do with something that you deeply identify with, and it could be something that's like a past habitual process that you deeply identify with, and what a relationship is motivating you to see. Relationships reveal our darkness and reveal our strengths. They are our mirrors. And so if some of us are living in extremes in our relationships, and I can guarantee you that some of us are having very, very unrealistic expectations with ourselves. Like, we don't see ourselves. We're looking into our mirror, and we can't see. It's cloudy, it's blurred. We don't see what we're doing wrong. And so we're debatable, and we're argumentative, and we're unapproachable about the things that we need to fix about ourselves, not because we're assholes. It's just because there is something deeply compelling for us we just can't see. It's cloudy. So as we're interacting in these extremes, and as these things are being unveiled and unearthed, the reality is that we're starting to see. We're looking in the mirror, and we see ourselves and those people, and we're like, whoa, time to redirect, because, whoa, I did not know I came off that way, or I did not see myself. It'd be no different than, like, if you were arguing with somebody and then you recorded the argument, like you had a camera and you recorded it, and then you played it back when there was no emotion on the table, when it was just a rational and logical time, and you played back that argument or that irrational conversation, and you were like, I can't believe I ever spoke to you like that, because you don't see yourself talk like that, or you don't see yourself do that, or you don't see yourself in that way. For some of us, the revelation is that we're no longer we can't create those illusions. We can't refuse to see what we don't want to see. It's a revelation process. It's like, oh my gosh, I really honestly see the reality of the situation, this energy. This reflective cycle removes what we idealize, and it is a revelation process. And what it's trying to do is to get us to become ego-less. Remove ego, to see the bigger picture. I know that when I removed ego, I'm just compassionate and loving. And if I have no ego attached to decisions or love or to perspectives, I am such a better person. If I'm not looking at what I can get out of it, what I desire from the situation, what I want, I'm a different human being. I'm going to be honest. And If you can take a look at it from that perspective, and if that's what's revealed to you in this energy, you are very blessed to see this type of energy in your life because it really puts things into perspective. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next Astrology. Hi dear Capricorns, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Neptune in Pisces retrograding at the same time that we're having Yod, at the same time that we're having immutable T-square. Woo! We have a lot of energy. So your ruler is at the top of this mutable T-square, squaring off with Neptune, saying, be realistic, because I'm sick of the way that you look at things. Stop idealizing outcomes. This is the reality of your situation. These are the solutions. These are the problems. This is the reality. You want to shake somebody in this energy. It's a very frustrating energy for you. Shake them. Come on, guys. Get on board with reality. Like, you're going to want to scream in this energy because you're so logic-minded in this energy. You are looking at this from an elevated perspective. You are looking at both of the pros and the cons in this energy. I think you're optimistic, but what you are trying to do is to elevate, I think, others in this energy. You are trying to bring compassion and love to situations. You are trying to merge the elevated mindset with some of these lower vibrations in energy, these immediate wants and desires, your immediate environment. So for some of you, this is about having conversations with people that cannot see what you see. They're blind. It's almost like they're blind in energy, and you look at them and you're like, oh, I'm telling you what is the solution. I'm telling you everything that you need to know, and all you can see is what you can see. And it's super frustrating because you want to argue, you want to be combative in this energy, you want to inflict your authority, you want to show people that you are much more knowledgeable than them in these areas, and you want to take control of these areas. But I would forewarn you that this is not your journey. You are here to enlighten. You are here to let people, you are here as a guiding force and energy. But you are not the Almighty. You are not the one that determines people's fate. You are not the one in control in this energy. And you need to be mindful of that, or you are going to have one hellacious time in this energy. This energy is about being logical and rational with people that aren't. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to give them all the pearls of your wisdom and your guidance and your infinite possibilities in this mindset. But you're going to have to give it to them, and you're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to let them see. You're going to have to let them peel off their own masks in their own time. You are not responsible for peeling off, taking off somebody's mask and screaming in their face about it. Not okay. Not okay. Like, what you are supposed to do is give them constructive criticism on a very elevated level, and then you are going to be a very supportive force in this world. That would be my recommendation, because if you don't do this, then what's going to happen is you're going to lower your own vibration. You are going to work off of past programming, and you are going to be a little tyrant in this energy, and you are going to throw some of the same tantrums that you used to always do when you had a very lower vibration. And remember that you've worked really hard to sometimes elevate your vibration. I mean, you're an elevated being in this energy. You're really merging that lower mind with that elevated mind, and wow, are you getting some awakenings in this energy? And there's an amazing mindset. And even it could be that, you know, I want to say it like this: you found the cure to cancer, right? So you try to go sell it to the world. I cured cancer. I cured cancers. But guess what? Cancer is a multi-billion-dollar business. Do you think people really want to cure cancer? No, they don't. Because it's a multi-billion-dollar business. And although you're screaming it from the mountaintops, I cured cancer, you have resistance from the FDA, and you have resistance from the medical associations, and you have resistance. They don't want to validate you, and you're screaming from the mountaintops, I just cured cancer, like I am the answer. And they're like, I don't care. Because you're taking away multi-billion-dollar companies, a multi-billion-dollar business from me. And you're just looking at them like, fucking what? Like, you're looking at them dumbfounded. Dumbfounded that they won't solve the problem that you have the solution to. That's the energy right now. Very confused and very conflictive. You're in an egoless state. Wait a minute. I'm going to dial that back. You're not in an egoless state. Because the ego is saying, realize for me what I say. No. An egoless state is you give this information to somebody and you back away and you let them approach it from their own journey. That's egoless. Ego state is saying, I've got all this information for you, do as I say. That's ego. Your ego is attached to that outcome. Why? It's somebody else's outcome, not yours. Not your journey, not your karmic journey, not your destiny. You are here to interact with people and to be compassionate and loving. And you are here to walk away from people and let them and support them and love them anyway they choose their journey. That's what you are here for. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner. And I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, dear Aquarius, and this is your energetic reading for Neptune and Pisces, which is dropping into retrograde at the same time that we're having a mutable T-square, at the same time that we're having Yod. So we have a lot going on. I do want to tell you that your rulers are involved in both the Yod and in the mutable T-square. So your ruler is squaring off with this retrograde cycle. So for you, you had this hope, this dream, this desire, this wish, something that was deep, that you deeply, deeply resonated with, had a very hopeful mindset about in the past. And it squares off with what you have to value now, with what you have to value moving forward, with the lessons learned, with what karma taught you. And karma's a bitch. Nobody likes karma. We don't want to admit that we were in some sort of karmic cycle. We don't want to admit that we were in some sort of karmic relationship. We don't want to admit that we had to have some karmic growth for us to understand what we wanted. No, we want to admit that we know what we've been doing all along. We're the ones that are in karmic relationships. We want to admit that to ourselves. The reality is, for many people involved in these conversations right now, the unveiling that's happening is you have been in karmic cycles that you did not know you were in, that have been difficult, that have had some sort of consistency. There is one tiny morsel that if you trace back everything through the ages, that there was something that it taught you. Every single relationship, every single karmic lesson, every single destined journey, there was a morsel of consistency that you refused to see. Not consciously, unconsciously. What's being revealed in this energy, what's being brought forth is consciousness in this energy. So for some of you, what is being brought forth is the fact that you are removing the state of delusion that you have created, that you had some sort of elevated perspective and that karma just didn't affect you. Karma wasn't part of your life. Like, you know, other people had karmic lessons. I don't have karmic lessons. Yeah, you do. Everybody does. No matter how enlightened, how forward, how exciting, how accelerated mentally you are as opposed to other people, everybody has karmic journeys. Everybody faces these. Steve Jobs. I watched his story. He is a very elevated mindset. He's a very, very beautiful, elevated mind, but he had a karmic story that I picked out immediately. He couldn't see in his life. Here he was doing magnificent, inventing things that have actually affected our daily lives. And yet he couldn't see the basics. He couldn't see the facts. He couldn't see what was right before him because he was so focused on outcomes that he didn't see the message, the point, what it was all about. That's Neptune. That's Neptune Pisces stuff. That's cumulative energy. That's end of zodiac stuff. He couldn't do it. He couldn't grow like that. You know how he grew? You know when he figured out his karmic path? You know when he figured it all out? End of his life. He'd lost his company. They took over his company and he moved away and he started settling down and he started getting simplistic in his mind. And when he took over his company, he grounded himself. Then his karmic journey ended and his life ended. Because he figured out what he couldn't figure out from the very beginning. Everybody had been screaming at him. Everybody had had the same conversations with him. He was just too bullheaded. He wouldn't listen. I feel like that's kind of your energy. I believe that there's an accumulative issue that I think everybody else sees that you refuse to see. There's a change and it's a detail. It's a detail that I think if you were to accumulate all of these issues, there's a detail, a very big detail, but it's a detail that I think that you need to see in this energy. I believe that there is a gorgeous and absolute beautiful energy that can come from that, and that is just fulfillment. And I feel like it's more, you're more adaptable if you do. Like say you get an awakening, say the reflective cycle for you is a very positive journey, and say it's an awakening, then then it makes you more adaptable in this energy. It makes you adaptable to the extremes. It makes you open to change. It makes you open to new mindsets. It makes you open to taking risks that are very heart-based. I believe that for some of you, what I think that you refuse to see is, or let go of, is something that there's a detail that you're holding on to, like you valued it and you just want to work hard at it to get it. But I don't think it's like, I think it's old news. I really do. I feel like it's old news. It's old energy. Doesn't serve you. You've went past it. You've grown. You've accelerated past that energy. You're a rocket past that energy. But there's this pull to it, I feel, in this energy. And I believe it's effing with your mind. And I believe it's not, you're not seeing things, I think, as you should. I really do. I believe that it's causing some instability for sure. And your perspectives, and it's really holding back what your career life path destiny is doing right now. I mean, you can be so forward in this energy, but there is this energy that's kind of twisting and turning. Now, I'm going to make a segue to this because I think it's important. Sometimes we do this to ourselves and we're completely unconscious that we're doing it. We think that we're forward moving. We think, what are you talking about? I see it. I don't understand. But unconsciously, we're still habitual. Unconsciously, we're still that rabbit on the wheel, not making that change that we needed to make, because it's just like, I don't know, we don't see where we need to change. We just know that we need that mindset's out there, but what's unveiled in this energy is possibly the detail or details that you are not seeing. Possibly what you need to unveil in this energy is just that it's even there. It's even a mindset, something that prevents this whole process from like launching forward at warp speed. Like I just want to go in this energy. I feel it, but I don't know. I mean, I think you need to release the stress and tension in this area that leads up to your career life path destiny. I believe it has a lot to do with habitual mindsets, and I believe that it has a lot to do with taking risks. These risks, when you make a decision in the way that your life is going to go, there's such a permanence about it. And I believe that sometimes in this energy, we can get caught up in just kind of not wanting to make a decision because Neptune's in Pisces. We want to avoid, we want to hide. We want to We lack the discipline and structure to be able to commit to making that decision moving forward. It takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of determination, and it takes intent. And I think that we need to find the motivation. We need to find what we value enough in this energy to create that momentum to move forward. I can't say that it's comfortable. I can't say that there is not a certain level of discomfort, because there is. But I definitely believe that you are in a state of, it's like you have been empty and the cup is starting to get filled up, and you're like, whoa, 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 you're filling my cup and I don't know if my cup's ready. Like, maybe I want some Java in there. Like, maybe I want a little bit of mocha. I don't know. Like, maybe I want something different in my cup. Like, I don't even know what I want, because you know what? I'm so busy restructuring, re-identifying myself and re-identifying my thoughts. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't feel ready in this energy for what some of the good and some of the positive things that are happening in your life. It's a little bit confusing, I feel like, and there's a lot of distortion in the way that you're thinking, because anytime that we do something different, or anytime that we evolve, or anytime that we awaken, there's a time period where we go through this not a great feeling time. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, dear Pisces. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for your ruler going into retrograde, guys. At the same time that your ruler is caught in a mutable T-square with fracking Saturn and opposing Jupiter. So, dude, I don't know what to say. Like, okay, first of all, it's a time for slowing down. It's a time to relax. It's a time to reflect and reconsider what you identify with. And there's been a lot of change. There's been a lot thrown at you. There's been a lot a lot of stimuli, a lot of different directions of your life have been evolving. And I believe that sometimes we need a little bit of reflection. We need to slow it down. We need to step it back a little, because we need to ground our energy, set roots in firm soil. Like, we need to get ourselves, we need to firm up what we want now, what we hope and what we desire, because we just went through a big mutable change. Like, we just got pulled in some extremes. And so I really just want to concentrate on the basics, feeling grounded, feeling energetically pure. Like, to me, it really resonates that I believe this isn't a very progressive time for you. What I believe that this has a lot to do with is I believe that it removes the rose-colored glasses, and it allows us to take a look at our reality. Now, our reality, for some of us, may be a little bit wavy, turbulent, and chaotic because of all of this mutable energy, and some of it's some of it is just indecisive as fuck. Like, you're just sitting there and you're like, I don't know what decision to make. Like, there's so many decisions on the table. I could do so many different things. There's lots of opportunities. What do I identify with? I mean, some of you could feel a little bit frazzled, so this lowers the intensity, lowers the energy in that area. This is not a very intuitive time for you. What this is a very rational and logical time for you, which thank God, sometimes you go through some rational and very logical energy, because you need this type of energy every once in a while to kind of, lower the expectation, lower the intensity, lower that energy that keeps you just compelled to kind of always want to go, and inconsistent and sort of flaky behavior, I think, that could come out of energy like this. Beware of the intensity. Look, if you do not put pressure on yourself to figure out your whole life right now, it will cause depression. It will cause delusions. It will cause mental sensitivity. It will cause a fluidness. You'll have a fluid movement in this energy. And it's like, you're kind of like this. You're kind of like, oh, that's intense over there, so I'm going to avoid it. Oh, that's intense. And you're kind of just going like that. Don't do that to yourself. This isn't a time to figure out your whole life. Your planet's in a retrograde. It's a time to reflect and relax and reconsider everything that's happened to you, everything that's led up to now, all the energy, all of the intensity. It's time to reconsider all of that. And in this, it's really honestly time to don't escape. God dang, don't escape reality. Please, Saturn's a biatch in this energy. Like, just deeply identify in your life. If you see opposition, face it and acknowledge it and validate the opposition. Stare at it. Allow it to change your perspectives. It's very important you look this in the eye. You take off those rose-colored glasses and you look at it and you stare at it and you stare it down if you have to. And energy, or if there's some opposition, if there's something you're refusing to see, consider that you're refusing to see it. Stop turning your eyes away from it. Stop pretending like it's not there. Stop pretending like you don't see it. You see it. You know. Like, this energy is like, you know, it's been there. Like, it has. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know about energy. You just intentionally refuse to see what you know you need to correct in your life. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner. I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event.